Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be previewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 8 matchup versus the Buffalo Bills. Primetime action yet again for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it is against a pretty tough opponent in the Bills. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. We're going to be going over a lot of stats, injury reports, and all of those different types of things. So firstly, I want to go ahead and start off by looking at the injury report. One important thing to note here is the three players that are out for the Bills. You have Dawson Knox, there's one of their starting tight ends. You have Quentin Morris, another backup tight end of theirs, and backup linebacker Balin Spector. Cool last name, but all three of these guys are out for the Bills in this upcoming Thursday night matchup. You then have quarterback Josh Allen. He was full go with a shoulder injury. If we take a look at the injury report from Tuesday, this is the most up-to-date one we have right now from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers communications staff. Hasn't really been any indication as to any updates regarding this, right? But you take a look, Josh Allen was full go, backup linebacker Terrell Bernard, all these different types of guys should be good to go. Kaiir Elam, cornerback out of Florida, should be good to go as well. Von Miller's going to be good to go. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Ed Oliver was limited. An important thing to note here was that he was limited both on Monday and on Tuesday, possibly on Wednesday as well, but I believe actually he was limited based on this week 8 injury report because this was updated October 23rd. So maybe, not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. But also Jordan Phillips was good to go as a backup DT. So yeah, on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers side, again, we talked about it before. Chase Edmonds, seems like he's going to be good to go. Keep an eye on Filer, Godwin, Mayfield, and Vita Vea. Also, Kayvon Merriweather as well as some of the guys who did not participate or were limited participants in Tuesday's practice. So it is definitely worth noting there. But let's go ahead and talk about the Buffalo Bills, right? So far this year, they have a 4-3 record that is second in the AFC East. I believe Miami is still first. It's not the Jets. It's certainly not the Patriots right now. But a 4-3 record is still pretty respectable. Only one win away from what the Bucs are. The Bills so far this year are third in the NFL in points for. They're averaging 28.3 points per game on offense. And then their points against, they are allowing 16.9 points per game. That is good for fifth in the NFL. So, I mean, like, overall, you look at offense, you look at defense, the Bills are getting some work done, okay? They just are, point blank, simple as that. If we scroll down here, we take a look at some of the things that they've been doing well. They've got the 6th best passing offense in the league per Pro Football Reference. They've got the 10th best passing defense in the league. I mean, you take a look at this, anything that they're really doing in terms of pass defense, pass offense, they're doing it very well. Where you kind of see a flaw is a little bit in their rushing attack here. In terms of yards, they're 14th in the league in rushing yards. And then they are 23rd in rushing yards allowed throughout this season so far. The flip side, downside for the Bucs here is that they currently have the 29th best offense in the entire league in terms of rushing yards. So that's not necessarily a big benefit to the Bucs to have a going up against a below average rushing defense here. But take a look at their schedule. Really, the Bills, arguably could be 5-2 right now. All 3 games that they've lost have been one-score games, right? You take a look at Week 1 versus the New York Jets. They lose 22-16 in overtime off of a punt return. That was kind of wild. You take a look, they win 3 straight against Las Vegas, the Commanders, and the Miami Dolphins. They beat up on Miami. I mean, my goodness. Miami being a very good football team in their own right, the Bills won 48-20. I mean, that's just nuts. You go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 5. You lose against them 25-20. Again, one-score game. It is what it is. And then you beat the New York Giants 14-9, but then you lose last second to the New England Patriots 25-29. Mac Jones got the job done for New England, finding, I believe it was Mike Gesicki for a game-winning touchdown. But I want to take a look here because you take a look at the score here for the Bills. They've scored 48 this year, 38, 37, 25, as their top 4 scores this year. Then they scored 20, 16, and 14. Obviously, they've scored 25 and lower. They've only won 1 out of those 4 games, right? So it seems like if you can hold the Bills, to 25 or under, seems like you have a decent chance at winning if your offense can go out there and put some points up on the board. On the flip side, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when we take a look at their schedule, they've only scored more than 20 points twice this year. Granted, they were both wins against the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears, but this offense is definitely going to have to do more than 6, 11, 13. Anytime the Buccaneers have scored more than 20 or more, they've won, right? And anytime they've scored less than 20, they've lost. So kind of a notable thing there. They are coming off of back-to-back losses, which is obviously certainly notable, definitely worth paying attention to. They lost to the Detroit Lions 20-6. They lost in heartbreaking fashion to the Atlanta Falcons 16-13. We have already covered those games, but point being is that, hey, if the Buccaneers get above 20 and they're able to keep the Rams necessarily, if the Buccaneers score 20 or above and the Bills are held to 25 and lower, Buccaneers have a pretty decent chance of winning, right? Duh. I know that sounds like, well, yeah, James, of course, if the Buccaneers score more points than the Bills, right? Of course they'll have a better chance of winning. Yes, I know, but maybe you get what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Let's take a look at the quarterbacks right now. Both guys, actually, Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield, were draft picks in the 2018 NFL Draft. Josh Allen was pick number 7, I should say. Baker Mayfield was pick number 1. So kind of a cool history there. Both guys of the same 2018 draft class going toe to toe. I think that's a very fun kind of matchup there. And so far, Josh Allen's been crushing it, right? He has a 70.7 completion percentage. Good Lord, I didn't know it was that high. 15 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, 1,841 yards. He's been sacked 10 times this year. So it is what it is. Baker Mayfield, 65.2 completion percentage, 1,363 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, sacked 8 times. These are two decent quarterbacks going head-to-head, right? I think Josh Allen has a little bit more in the way of mobility compared to Baker Mayfield, but both guys have been having pretty decent years overall in terms of completion percentages, in terms of yards and whatnot. I mean, Josh Allen has thrown the football 42 more times than Baker Mayfield, so you're going to see more yards, you're going to see more touchdowns, and you're even going to see more interceptions in there as well. But fun little quarterback duel from the 2018 NFL Draft. I'm very interested about that. For the Bills rushing attack, you're going to have James Cook be the main primary guy. Latavius Murray's actually been getting some work in there as well. 88 attempts for James Cook this year, 419 yards, 4.8 yards per attempt. The Buffalo Bills can run the football well, right? I mean, we see this, right? 4.8 yards per attempt. Latavius Murray getting in there with 3.9. Damian Harris, as a rotational guy, but he's hurt. I believe he had a pretty scary injury last week. Even Josh Allen, right? Getting 148 yards so far this year, 5.1 yards per attempt on 29 attempts. The Bills are a team that can run the football if you need them to. Their main bread and butter is the passing attack, though. Freaking Stephon Diggs with 78 targets is insane. 678 yards, 6 touchdowns. Literally, the next nearest guy he has less than half of the targets that Stephon Diggs does. So I think the main goal here is to stop Stephon Diggs, right? Or at least, you can't stop him, right? You can't stop him, but at least lessen the effect that Stephon Diggs can potentially have on this game because of how freaking big he is on this offense. Dawson Knox being out, he's the 3rd highest target guy for the Bills, so keep an eye on Dalton Kincaid, who is right behind him in targets, is outpacing Knox in yards, and also receptions and all those different types of things. So, look for Dalton Kincaid to get going a little bit, but obviously the main guy here is Stephon Diggs, right? 78 targets, good Lord. On the flip side for the Bucs, we've talked about the running game. I don't really want to dive into it much more. I just want to say, by the way, real quick, take a look at this. Take a look at how big of a difference this is. 88 targets for James Cook, 419 yards, 83 attempts, 5 less attempts, and you have 266 yards. Big yikes. 4.8 yards per attempt to 3.2 for Rachaad White. That's a big, that's a bit of a difference there, folks. That's, just certainly notable, certainly worth talking about. Obviously, the main attack for the Bucs is going to be Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Everybody knows how good that those guys are. The Bills are without their star cornerback, Tre'Davious White, I believe he's on the injured reserve, so that is certainly going to be a notable thing to pay attention to. Who's kind of been stepping up for the Bills? You have guys like Micah Hyde. You have obviously Tre'Davious White was there for a little bit, but now he is out for the year. He's going to be on the injured reserve, so who kind of steps in there for the Bills, right? That's kind of the main question there. If we go down here, I want to see if we can take a look at their roster. Yeah, we can. We're gonna go to the roster here real quick. If you take a look, let's go to cornerback. Tre'Davious White's on the IR. His year's done. You've got Taron Johnson has been a guy that's been able to go out there and start a lot of games. You've got Dane Jackson. You've got Kaiir Elam, who's going to be coming back. He was a first-round pick in 2022 for the Bills. He's going to be getting some starting time. You have Christian Benford, who's also getting some starting time. And then also, I don't got to tell you guys, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, a very, very formidable safety duo for the Buffalo Bills. These are going to be some of the top guys that the Mike Evans and Chris Godwin duo are going to be going up against this game, I should say. Taron Johnson doesn't have a pick this year. He has got 3 passes defended. Kaiir Elam, a really solid rookie year from this guy, by the way. He has not played. He just came back last week, so he's gotten a couple of starts under his belt. Didn't play much last year, but was still a pretty solid rookie overall. 2 interceptions, 4 passes defended. He's going to be another outside corner at 6'1", 191 pounds. And then Christian Bedford, 6'1", 205. Definitely an outside-inside type of corner. Doesn't have a pick this year. Has 3 passes defended on the year. This may be something where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers may be able to take advantage, right? You're not going to have Tre'Davious White. That's so huge. That's so huge. But you're going to have some athletic guys out there. Taron Johnson, has been a starter in this league for a couple of years. Kaiir Elam is a strong second-year player. And Christian Benford's a guy who shouldn't be taken lightly either. However, again, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, if they do want to be those guys who can go out there and make that money and make those big catches, they've got to succeed in what is a banged up cornerback room for the Bills. We also may see some double coverage type stuff with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde as well. But yeah, that's kind of the defense there. That's kind of the entirety of the Buffalo Bills. What to look out for, right? Well, firstly, Stephon Diggs, I would not be surprised if you see a combination of, let's say, Carlton, maybe even Jamel Dean. I don't really know what cornerback they're going to put on. I don't know what cornerback they're going to put on Stephon Diggs, right? Could be Carlton Davis, could be Jamel Dean. It really depends on who they feel like. I would say probably Carlton Davis. Probably Jamel Dean, just because he's the more athletic of the two. He's the faster of the two. Stephon Diggs is so quick. So probably Jamel Dean, and then you have Carlton Davis working on their other wide receiver, Gabe Davis, who's still an absolute threat, by the way. Still has 35 targets this year, 4 touchdowns, 347 yards. Stephon Diggs just through the roof, right? So I imagine if I had to guess, I imagine it would be something 6'2", 225, definitely more of a physical guy. I would probably have Carlton Davis on Gabe Davis, and then I would probably have Jamel Dean on Stephon Diggs. That's kind of the thing that I would go. I'd probably have either Antoine Winfield Jr., Ryan Neal, or possibly D. Delaney playing double coverage on Stephon Diggs just to limit what that guy can do in the passing game. Speaking of, defense and stuff, it's going to be interesting with Ryan Neal. He hasn't been playing great this year, just point blank, simple as that. Maybe you get D. Delaney out there. Is it time for D. Delaney to get some playing time? I don't know. The guy's got 2 interceptions this year. He had 2 in 2 games, back-to-back games at that, filling in for an injured Ryan Neal. He's been with the team since 2021. Why not? Why not get the guy out there? Why not give him some more opportunities? I think he's done an overall pretty good job this year in limited opportunities, right? He played, 97% of the snaps in the New Orleans Saints game. They won 26-9. He played 30% of the defensive snaps against the Philadelphia Eagles. Did they win? No, but he got an interception. So I'm on the hashtag play D Delaney train, play DD train. That's just me. I would play him, probably even rotating him in over Ryan Neal, helping him double cover up a guy like Stephon Diggs. Just kind of me. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Probably use Ryan Neal more as a run-stopping type of guy and use D. Delaney more in pass coverage situations. Again, just my opinion. One thing that's going to be interesting, and we've talked about it, is the potential lack of Vita Vea, right? If Vita Vea can't go, look for Kalijah Kancey to step up, who's been doing pretty good this year, I might add. Logan Hall, Mike Green, Will Golson, Greg Gaines, those are all guys that we've already talked about. Shaq Barrett talked about the idea of getting a sack on Josh Allen in prime time and how that could be a thing. He's got 2 sacks this year. He had a sack last week against Desmond Ridder. It was a sack fumble. Love to see it, right? Overall, good vibes there. Shaq Barrett's had an interesting year so far this year. 2 sacks in 6 games. He has 2 passes defended, a forced fumble, a pick, 5 quarterback hits. He's been kind of everywhere, right? And he's already on pace, like on a better pace than he was last year. So that's good. That's a good thing to see. You really do like to see that. By the way, Shaq Barrett's been with the team for, this is his 5th year. That's kind of cool. Taking a look, though, at Kalijah Kancey, he's going to be a guy that I'm really excited to see play. He's only logged 3 games so far this year, but I don't know why they didn't credit him with a half sack against Atlanta. I thought he had a half sack, but I guess not. He's got 1 sack this year, had a quarterback hit. He's got 4 in 3 games. So Kalijah Kancey's been a good pass rusher so far this year. Right? 4 tackles, 1 sack, 4 quarterback hits, tackle for loss. I'm excited about Kalijah Kancey. I hope you guys are as well. They're going to need him, for pressure on Mr. Josh Allen, just because Josh Allen is a guy that cannot just pass all over the yard, but he's a guy that can run all over the yard as well. Again, he is he's second in yards for the Bills, 3rd in attempts. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are, they're doing fine, all things considered, in terms of run defense and whatnot. I believe they're number 10 in terms of rushing defense, but getting a rushing quarterback is definitely something that you really need to keep an eye on. Also, Baker Mayfield is 2nd on the Buccaneers in rushing yards this year. 20, basically same amount of attempts, just, Josh Allen has 49 more yards than Baker Mayfield, which is interesting to me. Josh Allen can certainly run with the football in his hands. Big old guy at like 6'5" or however big he is. Josh Allen is absolutely no joke. Again, 6'5", 237 pounds, bro. I mean, come on. The guy's literally a tight end. I don't know what you guys want from me. But, going to be an interesting game here. Again, the Bills looking to get some revenge. They've gone win-loss, win-loss. So, this is going to be a tough game. Going to be a tough game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in prime time, in, the spotlight and whatnot. Buccaneers haven't been playing well at home. They're undefeated away. This is an away game for the Bucs, so that's positive, right? I mean, we'll see. But you just kind of see the comparisons here. 26 points per game to the Bills, 26th in points per game to the Bills, 3rd. Points allowed, these are just 2 great defenses going head to head, so maybe it'll be some type of defensive matchup. 2 decent passing offenses. Bucs at 15th. You give the advantage to the Bills here. Rushing attack, we don't even got to talk about that. Passing defense, the Bucs have struggled, where the Bills, have actually had a pretty good passing offense this year. And rushing attack, the Bills, could be exploited in that situation if the Buccaneers didn't have the 27th rushing attack in the NFL. So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your guys' score predictions for this game down in the comments section below. I would love to hear them. Do you think the Buccaneers are going to win? Do you think they're going to lose? What do you think the final score is going to be? Would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to be trying to go live tomorrow. I'm not feeling well. My throat's been pretty messed up the past couple of days. So I'm going to go if I can. List me as questionable right now. But, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, folks, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.